All right, we are live.
Let's do it to it.
Okay, welcome to Two Queens and Crystal Things. This is the podcast where we are on some manifest your life, shift your mind, and raise the consciousness type of shit. I'm Christie.
And I am Mia, and you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour.
Hey.
Welcome to episode 6.
Oh my gosh, we're episode 6.
So we're really excited. Last episode we discussed a spiritual awakening, what that means, what happened during ours, shared some
Yes.
stories. And so this week, and as we discussed, we're going to give Deepak Chopra's definition, because, he knows stuff, so.
I mean, just a little bit. He knows just a little.
It's basically when you are no longer living in a dream world where you filter everything through your ego and you're focusing on the future and the past. So instead, you have an almost simultaneous awareness of your individual self and your connection, that connection to you and everything, and every between you and everything else in the world. Basically, the oneness. You experience that oneness. So if I can put that in layman's term, shit gets real.
Shit gets real.
You just wake up like, wait a minute, hold on, what now? Hold on. So we talked about that. Mm-hmm. So today, what are we going to talk about?
Ooh, today we are discussing spiritual guides. What are they? What's their purpose? And so if you follow us, or I know that a lot of people, some of the people that are listening to our podcast follow me, and when I'm sharing messages or intuitive messages that I may have, I talk about they and them, and you may hear me refer to them, my spiritual guides, as them or they, and they are actually my collective team, and I refer to them. Yes, they are a team. But those are my guides. When I say they or them, those are my guides. And basically, a spiritual guide is an entity that remains as a disincarnate spirit to act as a guide or protector to a living human being. And so this includes archangels, ascended masters, loved ones, guardian angels, and spirit animals. And we're going to just give a brief overview of all this because it's a very rich subject. But our spiritual guides, they want to be a part of our lives. But as humans, we have to actually give them permission to enter our lives. Is that correct, Mia?
Mm-hmm. Yes, acknowledge them and say, hey, I'm open.
Here.
Let's do this.
Yep. And so they're honestly just literally waiting for us. They're waiting on the sidelines, waiting for us to invite them into our lives.
I mean, okay, so think of so we talked about, your awakening. So once you're going on the journey, remember, it's not a destination. It's not a spiritual destination. Mm-hmm. It is a journey.
Yep.
We're still on a journey, and we're learning as we're going along. So we're just sharing it as things are coming up for us.
Yep.
So you get to this point and you're like, okay, now I'm aware, now what?
Yeah.
And sometimes there's waves of emotions, you're highly sensitive, all type of things happen to you and you're trying to process it. Your spiritual guides are basically, I mean, it's just like this wonderful being and feeling that's always around you and always accessible to you to help you guide you through it. So they're like tools to help you on your spiritual journey.
They are tools. So when I think back, when I was going through, I guess, a piece or portion of my spiritual awakening, and I met Mia and she gave me a reading and she was talking about my guides, like, oh my gosh, your guides are here. I'm like, what do you mean? What is that? Who are they? Where are they? And she basically said, all you have to do is just say, okay, I'm here. I'm ready to receive whatever it is that you have for me. And that's kind of the start of how I ended up being introduced to them. And it takes time. It's like any relationship. It gets better with time. You spend time with them. For me, we'll discuss that later down the line. But Mia, how did you end up meeting your guides, or how were you introduced to them?
I've been trying to think about this. How did I even get introduced to the concept of a spiritual guide? I think before I knew what had the language for spiritual guide. I think it was more of it has to be somebody out here. Like, you know, I cannot, like, there has to be something out here that's helpful for me. Honestly, I think when I, being at the crystal store, I think a spiritual guide, honestly, think about anything that holds energy, has the ability to communicate with you.
Right.
So, like crystals and things like that. So, I honestly can't recall how it first, how it became a thing, but I do know that once I opened myself up to it, and I literally was just like, okay, so
I'm here.
I heard y'all are around here. Oh, I know. I just remember guardian angels.
Okay.
That was my first understanding of a spirit guide. It's like, oh, everybody has a guardian angel. You know, everybody's heard that term before. And once I realized, like, no, that's like a real thing.
No, it is. It so is. It really is. And we'll discuss that.
So that's I think how I first kind of came into the realization that I got some backup on me.
So one of the things that you did, is it okay for me to share about this guided meditation?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was working with Mia, she had actually asked if I had met my guardian angels, and I was like, no, I never have. I mean, I can kind of sense that they're around, but she did this guided meditation, and that's where I was kind of like where I was introduced to them, and it was a really great experience. And from them, we just continue to develop this relationship.
I mean, it's like it's muscle memory. It's like the more you practice it, the bigger, the larger the messages are. The more clear it is. Like I said, I think the easiest way to even just get started to it is just to affirm that you're ready for it. That, I'm here and let's talk. What do you have for me? And I think especially going through the journey, because there's so many ups and downs. Spiritual guides are, y'all have no idea. My daughter literally will come out like, "Mommy, what did you say?" I'm like, "Huh?" My girl, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my people.
Right.
All the time.
I talk to them all the time too.
All the time. I'm starting to question, when they say people are crazy because they talk to themselves, I'm starting to question, no, they might just be tuned in.
Right, they may be tuned in.
But having, just having a conversation, I think of it like your spirit guides have access to your highest self. Because you guys, they work together, kind of helped co-create stuff with you before you got here. So they can help translate and deal and provide insight, and in anything that comes from your spirit guides that's helping you on your journey, it's like they only have your greatest good in mind.
They do.
And
a lot of times I don't always listen.
Well, yes, but you know what? That's true. Sometimes I don't. But I will say this: I have learned that when I don't listen, what happens?
Right.
And everybody has had this before. You know how you something tells you don't do it and you do it anyway? We've talked about this before.
I've done that before.
And then you're like, damn, why did I do that? It's very similar. Same thing. It's just like, okay, I kind of knew, but I thought maybe y'all didn't know what y'all was talking about, so I just tried it anyway. Yeah.
But I will say that when I have listened to them, they have never steered me wrong. Never steered me wrong.
So I think, so before we get into how to connect with them, let's talk about how, like, signs that there's an energy trying to connect with you. And you talked about this earlier today, the numbers.
Oh, yeah, man. I have been, and I even posted this on our podcast Instagram page earlier today. I have been seeing, so even before I met Mia, I had been seeing angel numbers for years, and I had no idea what it meant, but I started to realize that there was this repeated occurrence of me seeing 111, 333, 555, 888, and I could not understand, but then I was just like, okay, this is something, I don't know what it is, and it was literally about 2 years, and then I met Mia, and then we talked about angel numbers, and she was like, oh yeah, they've been trying to communicate with you. And I'm like, what are they trying to say?
I don't know, like a lot of people see, and honestly, seriously, just Google angel number 111. What the heck does that mean?
Yeah.
So if you look up these numbers, there's a lot of information.
There is a lot,
but pay attention to it. That's there. Like, I know people said this heard this before, but there are no coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
There. If you continue to see 444, 444, you look at the time is 444. Your receipt is $444. Whatever it is, there's a reason for that, and just pay attention to it. So I think one of the biggest things is when in order to see the signs, sometimes we just have to open our eyes and become aware of it.
Yep. And I think that's another thing too, is that being in this human experience. I mean, again, I say all the time, we are spiritual beings having living a human existence or experience. But, as humans, we get so distracted by life, by the news, by the things that, we're trying to keep up with our careers and materialism. I mean, we have so many distractions that oftentimes we don't see those signs. But once you start to tune in, you will start to see that there is just this massive, you'll see these symbols, you'll see this connection.
Like, getting the concept that the universe is on your side is a whole thing. It feels it's beautiful. And think of it this way, because sometimes I think people may have some kind of fear, like, okay, I'm talking to myself, or, okay, this is crazy, or, there's some fear there, but think of it this way. It's actually really good news, because you're not alone. No, you're not. Like, as you're going through especially after a spiritual awakening, you're like, okay, now what? What in the hell, now what? Just knowing that you're not alone in your journey through life. We're not left to our own devices, thank God. No, we're not. So, because this body that, that we have, makes us forget who we are and who we have connections to. So, okay, so other signs. We said this earlier. Did we talk about music?
You talked about, actually shared that with me when I had my reading with you the other day.
Like music. Oh, okay, I'm
music.
like, I thought we talked about this. Yes,
Music.
It's like, so think about this. Songs that you hear in your head. So recently, I have been hearing, and I tell you this every morning, when I wake up, I hear in my head this artist, her name is Shekinah, has this album called Rose Gold.
It's a really great album.
Oh my God, I love this. This girl just put her whole foot in this. And her name is Shekinah, like, seriously. But it's a song that she has called Power to She. And so she says, power to she who knows she's a queen. And the lyrics to this song are absolutely beautiful, but it's something about it that sticks with me, and so I just wake up and I hear it, and for me, it's like I interpret that as like my guys are just reminding me, like, we got you, like, know who you are, don't forget who you are, every freaking day, know who you are, and it's such a beautiful sentiment for me. You know how sometimes like you'll think of a song, then it'll play, or a song that, say, like a loved one that's passed away, like say your grandma's favorite song or something, you're thinking about, then like that song comes up, like, man, I haven't heard this in forever.
It's like, oh my gosh, is that you, Grandma?
So it's like, and so pay attention to the lyrics that you're hearing. Even if you hear something that resonates with you, look it up. See, look up the title, look at the lyrics. That happened. The music thing is actually kind of cool, and I have actually, and I would challenge people to do this. This is when I first started working with, like, okay, they're spiritual guides, and I remember, what was his name? Archangel Sandoval. I'm gonna mess that man's name up. How do you say his name, Christy? You know what I'm talking about. Sandoval.
She's looking it up, y'all.
Because I can't. I mean, I hate. Wow. He is closely related to Metatron. He's an angel of music, and I cannot remember. Sandoval? Yeah, Sandoval. Okay. I'm gonna look it up. Wow, but I don't want to stop. But so I would say, I'd be in my car, and I'm like, okay, so I'm calling on my guys. Talk to me, like, let me know, that you're here. I'm in the car by myself, so like, listen, help
Sandoval.
me. Thank you, Sandoval. So that I don't. So I call him, and I would be like, okay, I'm going to turn. Just show me that you're talking, that I'm here and that you're listening to me. And when I tell you, I would turn on the music, and then every song that would come on was like, love, exactly what I needed to hear. Like, it was just like, oh, okay. Like, and sometimes it wasn't all like love. It was just like, like, what was the song? Wake Up.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yes. And it was just random on an urban radio station. I'm like, oh, okay. So
you have a message for me.
You have a message coming through. So that's another way to look at it. Have you ever had music as a sign that,
So I never had it until yesterday.
Really?
Yes, after the reading that you gave me. Yes, after you said it. Honestly, right after Mia says something, it happens. I'm like, man. So she gave me a reading yesterday, and she said something about, don't be surprised if they send you, like, you'll hear a song and they're sending you a message. And randomly, my iTunes just started playing, and it's this song, Gayla, you guys, I can't remember, but it's called a transient song, but it talks about searching for a home, just trying to find a place, and it was because I'm in this place right now where I'm really searching for some answers, and I didn't get a chance to look up the lyrics, but I just listened to the song. I was like, wow, okay, that was for me. And the fact that it just randomly started playing from my cell phone, I was like, okay, I'm listening. I hear you.
Like, I hear you.
Thank you.
I love that. What, like, something like visual, like a visual cue. Like, something like when you see an object or something that reminds you of a loved one. It could be something that you haven't seen in a very long time. It's, that could be someone letting you know that they're sending you their love.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll see, like, flickers of light from the corner of my eye, and I'll think, like, okay, did I just see something?
I'm like, oh, that's just them.
Right, I'm like, did I just see something? Or, like, today when we went on our nature walk, I was out with Snow Black. I put a...
She makes fun of me. I like the nature.
No, I love nature. Look, if you guys know me, you know I like nature, but she takes it to another level. She makes it look like I absolutely hate nature. But I was just waiting for birds to come chirping with a silk dress for her to put on, and I was waiting for little butterflies to come with little barrettes to put in her hair.
I love the animals. They're so
But they love her too. But no, I love it. But when we were out today, I was like, okay, she is Snow Black, because the ducks and the fish were starting to come to her. It was amazing. It was amazing to see. But yeah, the flickering of light. I think also sometimes you can just sense it. Like for me,
this feeling of presence.
Yeah. So for me, I have this. It's almost like a chill or goosebumps. But I look at my arm, and my arms aren't like, I don't have goosebumps, but it's like a chill, and then it has like this fuzzy feeling that goes with it. And that's when I know, like, okay, I feel you. Like, even with my grandmother, I'm like, okay, I feel you.
I felt her grandmother before too.
She sits like on the right side she sits on the right side behind me.
Yeah. But she, but feeling a presence. So that's real. So, okay, I want to find a way to explain it so it doesn't seem so like
I know
and out there.
Yeah.
So, so think of it like this. Okay, I got it. You're in a room with someone, and they're talking to you, and you can feel they're on some bullshit.
Yeah.
Even though I'm like, keep it real. Like, even if what they're saying, that they have the facial and the facial right, and they're doing everything, but something in your spirit is nagging you. Like it's so that's like you're using something outside of your five senses to detect what the fuck is going on. Like I don't know what it is, but something just doesn't feel right. And we always say to follow your intuition. So whatever that sixth sense, I'm going to call it, is that you feel when you know something isn't right or something feels really good, or it's that sense that you're using to communicate and that they're using to communicate to you. So they show you the signs, like, to kind of just get us started. Like, here, let me give you something. Let me put this over here. White feathers is another one that lets you know that your guys are. If you see a random white feather, you're just like, oh, okay, that's weird. That's your guy trying to get your attention.
Scents.
Oh, girl, the scents.
Sometimes you'll just start smelling roses or start smelling... Sometimes it's just like this indescribable smell, and it's just like, oh my gosh, what is that? That smells so good.
So good. I have that with one of my guys. Like I like, oh, it just comes out of nowhere, and that's when, especially when I'm doing readings, that I smell this scent and it lets me know like, okay, I'm here with you. Let's help. Let's guide. I'm helping you guide, and I'm giving you all the information that you need to help this person. So I think and actually, I was just telling Christy, I was with a friend of mine. Her mom passed away a few years ago. We were on a trip in Mexico, and she just stopped dead in her tracks, and she's like, "Oh my God, I smell my mom." And I've known her since we were kids, and I was like, I completely smelled her mother. She wore this perfume that like nobody wore. It was her scent, and I'm just like, holy crap! Like and it can be so strong, and it feels so good. And like you just imagine what that feels like, just knowing like I'm still here. Mm-hmm. Like I got you. I'm loving you. Like
oh my gosh,
you are
I'm about
never
to start
alone,
crying.
girl. Because I know.
Look, I'm a G. I'm not about to cry.
Wait, I'm a G. I'm a G. I'm not about to cry.
Yeah.
You a spiritual gangster. Spiritual gangsters cry. I just said.
Okay.
Let's go.
Man, I do too.
And wait, I'm going to remind you, because I don't know if you want to share this story about the time you were sleeping and you felt a presence in your room.
Oh, my grandma. That? Yeah, and I think I might start crying. So yeah, this was early on when I started to open up myself, and there was one time I'm gonna cry.
Breathe.
I know. So I was asleep, and I want to say, I don't think I had a light on, or I don't think I had a candle burning, but I just remember feeling this presence coming in my room. So yeah, tears are starting to drop. A presence came in my room. And it felt like it was my daughter. Like, it just felt like her energy. So I was like, oh, okay, it's my daughter coming in.
You said it was like, it felt like her, but older.
Yeah, like more mature.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's just Kai. Maybe, she's cold, or maybe she is, I don't know, wants to sleep with me. And I felt like the bed kind of, when someone's about to get into the bed with you, it kind of sinks in. So I felt that sensation. And then I woke up, and I was like, what was that? And then I talked to Mia about it, and she was like, that was your grandmother. And
it was honestly beautiful for me to be able to experience, help her with that experience, because I actually started crying when
because you said, especially when you told me why. So
yes, that just took me out.
I'm always cold. So if you know me, I'm always cold. Like, I like it butt naked, hot. So I'm always cold. And she, Mia was giving me a reading. You were giving me a reading that day, right? Mm-hmm. So she was giving me a reading, and she said it was your grandmother because she knows that you're cold, and so she was coming to, to warm you up. Oh my gosh, I almost lost it. I was, ugh.
Yeah,
that's love, y'all. That's love.
That's love. And the good thing about your spiritual guys, we'll go through the different types that you have, but the good thing about having the spiritual guys is you guys just, so you're going to make me start crying. Knowing that no matter where you are or what you do, that there are beings who love you.
I mean, indescribable level of love.
Love you. For real.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that gives, there is, I don't care what nobody says, there is transformative power in love. And I'm not just talking about romantic love. There is something about love that gives you confidence to keep going. Knowing okay, I mean something. You know what I mean? So there's really, that's some deep.
And let me tell you about love, because when I worked on Mia, I did a crystal healing session on Mia.
Oh, yeah.
And,
which was awesome.
Oh my gosh, I might start crying again. So,
we're going to name this episode 6, We Cry.
Tears. So as I'm working on her guides, so that's another thing too, as I'm working on people, and I make sure that I protect myself, and but as I'm working on people, a lot of times my guides will connect me to the person's guides that I'm working on, so I know how to work on, so I know what they need. So I'm working on Mia, and her guides showed me how much they love her, and I'm gonna start crying. So so as I'm working on her and I'm feeling like they're allowing me to feel this level of love that they have for her and how much they cherish her and how much they adore her and how much they place her on this pedestal. And they also gave me a vision of just how they view her and how just, But just,
I'm a big crybaby.
Clearly, we both are crybabies today. But that was so amazing, and I have never felt a love like that. Like the type of love that I have for my kids, like that's not even the type of level of love that I was able to feel. So your spirit guides, like your guardian angels, they want nothing but the best for you. All you have to do is just invite them in, let them know, look, I'm here, I'm ready. What is it that you need? What is it I need to do? Help me, guide me, and they will help you and they will guide you. All right, I'm a G, so I'm about to wipe these tears away.
But I will say, just, okay, breathe. Personally,
Breathe.
When I think about just times in my life before I was even ready to receive that I had, that I had these guys. And when I look back now in my life, I know for a fact that there's no way that I would not be alive if they didn't have me. Even not acknowledging. When I think about I had a very traumatic childhood. Like in the very beginning years of my life, it was just I was a 77 baby, and my biological mom, because I have a mom who raised me once when I was older, who was my biological aunt, but she was not okay. She was a drug addict. She left me at home by myself all the time, and let me see. So my baby sister was born when I was 4.5, 5. So she was a baby. And I'm there, people calling in DCFS, I'm lying, stealing groceries from the grocery store, just trying to survive. And when I look back on it, and I have a daughter, and I'm looking at, like, she's around that age where I was literally just living and trying to make it work. And I know for a fact that there's no freaking way.
Yeah.
There's just no way if they didn't have my back. So to me, I'm like, woo! And then so now to know them and to talk to them, like and
to have that relationship.
Woo! And to have that relationship. So the more you connect with them, I mean, I tell them thank you so much. I'm so
I do
grateful
too.
And
all the time.
And so and I also think when connecting with your spirit guides, it allows, like, the level of compassion that they've shown me allows me to have the level of compassion for people. I know,
there's no way.
There's just no way.
Yeah.
It's just no way.
And I'm sure you all can think about it, because I've had a couple of instances, too, where it's like, I have no idea how I got home from the club.
Cheers.
And it's like, man, somebody was looking out for me.
No, seriously, like, I have definitely, I mean, I ain't ashamed. I've been kicking it. But I have definitely had times where I was just like, wait, I got in the car, I'm home, and there's no recollection of from here to, like, how did that happen? And I would say this, the thought at 43 of me getting in the car freaks me out now, but
Uber, please.
Right. No, seriously. Because you know what? We didn't have Uber.
Yeah, we didn't.
When we first started kicking, there was no Uber. It was just like, I'm not about to leave my car down here, and then there's cabs. Girl, please. Driving the car. So yes, that's a very good point. And I know there's some people that can relate to that.
Mm-hmm. So what are some ways that you connect to your spirit guides?
Okay, so I will say now, today, it's constant, because I acknowledge that they're there. So we're always speaking and talking. But I will say when I meditate, this I kind of like our little special place. So, and that guided meditation that I did for you, I did that for myself first. And so I took this to the place, I call it the Garden of Your Soul. So that's like kind of like our special place. Like we go meet there. So it's this meditation I do. I go in and I go to this beautiful place that I built, and and you know they're there, and we chit chat, and then that's like just a whole nother world. But just on kind of like the day to day, they're always there. But meditation is
meditation's for me too.
Is like real. And then you already know what I'm gonna say. I journal.
Yes. Yeah.
And for me, journaling is because I literally I've told Chrissy to do this 100 times.
I do it now.
I literally sit down with my journal and I write, what messages do you have for me today?
Yep.
And I just allow myself to just sit there and whatever comes in my head, I write it. And then sometimes it's a couple of words, it could be a drawing or whatever, and sometimes it's pages upon pages. And every time, not like it's never not happened. I'll go back and read some stuff, and I'm like, ooh, that's not you. Like, and I told Chris, I'm like, I'm not this smart. I'm not that smart. Like this is not me. This is me being divinely guided by my guides. Yeah. How do you connect?
So through meditation. Also, they come to me in dreams sometimes. Oh, yeah. So my guard
was good dreams.
So I told you recently that I met my spirit animal, and that was through a dream. And it actually came again last night, so I will be interested to see if it shows up this evening. But also talking to them, just like Mia. I mean, it's honestly just having a regular conversation with them. I'm always talking to them. I'm always speaking in gratitude, sharing how thankful and appreciative I am, because I just think about where I was not even a year ago.
Come on.
I think about where I was a year ago. Oh my gosh, I might start crying again. We had no idea that this would be emotional.
Okay.
But I think about my life and where I was a year ago, and this was a year of me, not listening, not tuning in, not communicating, literally muting myself from them. And then once I open up myself to them, my life is completely changed, changed for the best. But then also...
Well, is there another way that you connect?
Journaling. And that's what you actually suggested to me.
It works.
And that it does work.
Helps. And again, I am not saying this is going to work for everybody. I'm just telling you that that's what, what I've learned along the way. So I would say that, think of it, okay, so your spirit guides. So, okay, I'm going to go a little bit back a little bit further. Everybody on Earth, that we decided to come here. You chose to be here during this time for a reason.
Excuse me.
And so your spirit guides, who, whether they be archangels, your guardian angels, goddesses, ascended masters, we'll get through all that, your spirit animals, elemental energies, anything, they were with you and helped you design the blueprint of your life. Wow. So, and what you did was that enabled you to have learning opportunities so your soul could grow. But they were in on it in the beginning. You know what I mean? They were there with you. So if you think of life is like a classroom, like life is like we're just in a classroom, right?
It really is.
And so we're learning. So our guides are kind of like our teachers. They help us decide which path would be best for us at that time.
I like that analogy.
You chose the existence that is yours. You chose that. And your guides helped you with choosing your soul family. So I know for a fact, and Christie and I we learned in our spirit, in one of ours, I don't know if there's a reading or one of our spiritual journeys, that we're definitely connected from on a soul level. But I know
Thief my fifth, though.
My fifth, but the guides allowed us to, so when we put people in place in our people in our lives in a place for certain things, even the negative stuff. So it's because those are lessons, those are opportunities for you to grow,
right.
And to know that. See, and we're not saying like if you have your spiritual guides that no more challenges will come and blah blah blah. No, because that's not helping your ascension for not having any challenges and growing, because it's for a reason. It's just to help guide you through this and know, one, you are not alone, and to remind you that everything that you're going through has a purpose.
Yep. And you are loved unconditionally throughout it.
But there is one caveat. They cannot change our free will.
Yeah, there is free will.
There's that.
Yeah.
That part. So they can help guide us. They're always there. It's like, you got your teachers, it's your coach, whatever way that it you can make it tangible for you. The only thing that they cannot do is change our free will. Just like we said, sometimes they tell us this, that, and hey. And we're like, yeah, I hear that, but... And they're like, okay. And guess what? And they love you anyway.
Yep. Woo. And they don't judge.
And they don't judge.
Man, the best friends to have ever. It's like, Christy, you fucked up, but you know what? Get up, dust yourself off, let me give you a hug, and get back out there.
Just like, it's gonna be okay. Like, oh my goodness. I laugh sometimes because we call it spiritual spankings.
Oh my gosh, I had it yesterday.
Because sometimes they will get in your butt. Like, sometimes we're like, look, dude, how many times we gotta do this lesson? Like, we got a plan here, and you were supposed to have already done this lesson. Okay, here we go. So I have to keep beating you over the head so you can get this lesson. You're gonna get the lesson though, one way or another. Because sometimes they just won't move on until you are ready to move on, until you learn the lesson.
Yeah, it's real, you guys. But I think, like, once you open up yourself, it is an amazing experience. And again, we have free will, so that is why we have to invite them in. We have to give them permission to come into our lives because they're just waiting. They're honestly just waiting for us to invite them in. And so if you all are ready to connect with your spiritual guides, let them know you are ready.
And I think, Michael, you said dream time is actually a good way. I want to kind of dig in because I think that it allows you to kind of experience it without the fear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're just now, if you're just like, okay, I want to open myself up to it. If you think like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep and I want to talk to you guys. Talk to me in my sleep. Like literally that easy. Just have that conversation and say it with them. And I saw this. I didn't come over this, but I think it's so true. It's like any dream that you remember are messages. So because we can have all type of dreams, but when you remember something vividly, it's for a reason. Mm-hmm. Those are something that because they want you to take it back to your living, your world.
So that's one of the reasons why I keep my journal by my bed, so that when I wake up, I remember and I can write it out. And then also before you go to sleep, just say if I have let your guys know if I have a dream or if we have a conversation, my will or my desire is to remember.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's so true. Good, great. I'm so glad you said that. Our words have power.
A lot of power.
And if we set that intention, we say, hey, I'm going to remember. Whatever messages you have for me, I have a dream, I'm going to remember. Literally, just say it. And so it is.
And so it is. Yeah.
And then the other thing, before we get into the different types, I was thinking about, we talk about like our spiritual contract.
Oh my gosh.
Before they help us fulfill that. And so some guys are with you from like guardian angels. Perfect example. They with you from the day you come out until the rest of your life. And then there are some guys that will pop in and out of your life for a particular season or reason or a lesson to help guide you through it. But know that there is always a collective working on your behalf. And it's just a matter of, you tapping into it. It's just... They'll be there at the end. Oh, I know. Think about babies. Oh, I used to love this when Jay
my
was
son.
A baby.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a baby in their room by themselves, and they wake up, and like say you're looking through the baby monitor, and they're just laughing and giggling, and they're like looking up and just having a good old time. They're like, their angels are talking to them. Like their guardian angel just right there playing with them and making them feel good. And so, like, from 0 to 7 children are closest to God. So if we get to our children before they get to a certain age and remind them who you are and who you have with you, that's a very powerful thing.
Because unfortunately, we train our kids, who are you talking to? You're not talking to anyone? I'm not seeing anyone in the room that you're talking to? You don't do that. That looks crazy. Like, don't do that.
Like, I'm uncomfortable with that. Don't do that. And we're kind of shutting down. Of course, because they love, kids love their parents, so we're shutting down their intuition. We're shutting down them talking to their guides. I can't, man. Ooh, just thinking about what it would have been like to just know that I had them the whole time. I don't know. Maybe things would have. It is what it is. I don't regret nothing.
Yeah.
I don't regret anything, I should say. Literally, I don't. So, it's a beautiful, like I'm trying not to cry. Just thinking about all this time. They're just right there. Mm-hmm. They keep, like, that is the dumb. It's literally like all this time there's a vault, a bank vault in your house full of all the riches you could imagine, and you had the combination the entire time.
Right. That's good.
You're
like, oh, let me try these numbers.
You're like, let me see what this 222 means. Click, click.
Oh. Damn.
It's going down.
Yeah.
But so you want to talk about the different so many.
Yeah, there's a lot, and so we're just trying to make this digestible.
Yes. I like that. Digestible?
Yeah, so there are different types of spirit guides, and so Mia briefly talked about the archangels.
Yes. So you have your archangels. I'm going to challenge everyone to do their own little research. But that's the other thing. You can call in different guides for yourself.
Yes.
So I was going to say, I know everybody has heard of Archangel Michael, like literally.
Yeah.
Any of my Christian sisters and brothers have heard of Michael and Gabriel. Mm-hmm. You know, Gabriel was the angel that went to Mary and told her.
He's a messenger.
He was a messenger. And actually, I want to say, somebody who's a literary person is going to kill me if I'm wrong, but I want to say that angel, like the Greek word for angels is anglos, which means messenger. That might.
I think you might.
I feel like that. I don't know, but they are our messengers. So archangels, they are, I guess, would be considered on a hierarchy of angels, that they are, higher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So there is a hierarchy.
Thank you.
With among the angels, and the archangels are the ones that are kind of at the top of the tier.
I would tell you. Let me see. So archangels, and they say that they're made of like pure love, and they bring us messages. So they're some of the better known ones, and like I said, Gabriel, Michael. I will tell you that Michael he's one of the angels who has and I think all the archangels have like omnipresence, so they can work with multiple people. With me, it's you, with our kids, like they can, you know what I mean. They can be there for you, and I call on him. I work with
Archangel Michael all the time, and Gabriel, and Jophiel.
I call Archangel Michael all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Like just watch my back when if I can't see, help me to see. And when I get in my car, sometimes I'm like, hey, you got me, Michael? Okay, thank you, we good.
Even when I park, like I've parked in places where I know I shouldn't park. I'm like, okay, Archangel Michael, I'm gonna need for you. You actually taught me that one.
My goodness.
I'm like, look, I need for you to keep a watch over my car and make sure I don't get any tickets. Thank you.
Like seriously.
Never had a ticket.
That sounds petty, but dead serious.
Never had a ticket, but the one day that I did not ask him to do that, got a ticket.
Yeah, and I stay parking in some toes. Like literally, I'm parked outside my building. I was parked outside my building all night. So I live in this building. It has like a little, what do you call that thing? Driveway, circle drive.
Like a horseshoe driveway.
And you're not supposed to, park your car there except for, to do groceries or something. And I don't know what happened, but I dropped my car off, sat downstairs, and then, was taking some groceries or something. I went upstairs. For 2 days, I did not come out of my house. Me and Jane, we walked downstairs. And let me tell you, I'll put a little protection on my car. Jade and I walked downstairs, and she was like, Mommy, I'm walking to the garage. Like, okay, let's go. She's like, Mommy, I think the car is out front. I'm like, no, it's not. I haven't been outside in 2 days.
You left it there. I don't know how she forgets where she puts her car.
I mean, but Michael got my back.
Michael does. He's straight up the real deal.
So those are the archangels, like the highest of all angels.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Let me see here.
Angels. So when I was
like guardian angels.
Yeah. So when I was going to churches, that's at the time that I was going to church, that was one of the ways that I could tell like whether church was a good church or whether church was on some BS. So there was one church that I started going to, and then in the beginning I would see angels all around. And then as the church grew and as the church became more popular, I saw less and less angels. And then they got to a point where I saw none. So I was like, okay, something's not right. Like I was like, okay, where are the angels? And that was a red flag for me. And
interesting.
I left the church.
That's really interesting. Huh. See, they're just there to, and you know what? There is something to that. The absence of that type of love and that energy says a whole lot about you. Ooh, girl. But so your angel, I think any being in the angelic hierarchy could be like your guardian angel or an angel. And some people, I think, have some of the archangels are their guardian angels. But look them up. Arch is spelled ARCH, angels. ANGELS, because I want you guys to look into it a little bit. And if anything is resonating with you, just do a little research. Yeah, they actually like it when you start saying, wait, what's going on here? Because that means that you're ready. And they're like, guys, it's ready. It's I think of it like, because I ran track 100,000 years ago.
Not that long.
Like they are, the starting line. And they just waiting for you to shoot the gun to go. That's it. Just come on, let's go. You're just sitting up there like, They've been in the blocks for a long time, y'all. Let them people out them blocks get on this journey with you.
Yeah. And then guardian angel. So this was something, and I guess we don't have to go deep into it, but I've heard that. Okay, so everyone has a guardian angel. Some people have one, and some people have two. Although I heard that most people have two.
Yes, I've heard that most people have too. That's been my understanding. It's funny. Believe it or not, as we're on this podcast, I'm actually a really private person. But more importantly, I am so protective of what my guides, and so. Christie's open book. She's trying to help me open it more. But I respect her privacy. It's so I have two guardian angels. And,
me too.
And I would say with guardian angels, the thing about them is we've discussed this before in terms of starting a relationship with your guardian angel, because if nothing else, if none of this other stuff resonates, you're like, what are you talking about? Know that you have guardian angels and they have been with you the entirety of your life. So have a conversation with them, and then once you start getting a relationship, you can literally ask them, what's your name? So I will tell you guys a story, a little personal one, about when I first started working with my guardian angel, and I'm not going to cry.
You're a G,
right? Because I want to get this out. And so when I'm like, okay, I have two guardian angels. Okay. What does that mean? I was trying to connect with them and have a conversation with them. So what I did was I was walking down the street. Jade and I were walking to Medici. We're going to go have some food at Medici. And I'm talking and I'm like, okay, look, show me, tell me your names. Like, I'm playing a game with them. Like, okay.
48.
Okay. Show me your names. Tell me who you are. And so basically what I did was I kept seeing moons. Right? They were showing, like, I'm walking down the street. I'm like, there'd be a flyer with the moon. And I love moons.
She loves
the moon.
I'm
like, and then I saw another moon. And I'm like, that is so cool. I'm like, look at all these moons. I'm like, wait, are y'all trying to tell me something? And then on the sidewalk, on sidewalk chalk, some little kid had wrote Luna. And I was like, is your name Luna? And I just and I didn't get the answer. So I said, okay, do me this favor. By the time we get to the restaurant, show me some confirmation. Like, so I know who it's like, because I would like to address you accordingly. I go to Medici. They have the tables where people write, they have little markers, people write on the walls and stuff like that. So I sit at this one table, and where I always sit. And so I always see the little names and stuff. And I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot. I didn't get my answer. And I was like, and I said again, I'm like, is your name Luna? I looked, I'm about to start crying. And I looked down on the table, and there was somebody drew a moon, and the word yes was next to it.
Wow.
I was like,
I had chills.
And she like, oh, okay. Okay. Like, okay. I mean, and it's overwhelming at first.
It is,
but,
yeah.
But it felt good. It's not overwhelming. Like, I was afraid. I was like, and then that was like another confirmation. Like, y'all listening. Okay. Well, shoot. Well, come on then.
Right. So my guys let me name them. I know that some will give their name, and then some will allow you, like, whatever you're comfortable with, that's what you can call us. Although there were names that I picked out at first, and I used my pendulum, because I used my pendulum for everything, like the time that I thought I had coronavirus, but I had just worked my back out too hard and I had a hard time breathing. I pulled out my pendulum. They're like, no, Christy,
You worked your back out too hard. Okay, I'm gonna let that one go.
they're like, no, Christy, hush. We're out of the relationship podcast episode.
You said it. I just clarified.
At the gym, but I couldn't breathe and I used my pendulum. I was like, do I have corona? They're like, no, Christy, you're just foolish. But anyway, so I used my pendulum to ask if they liked the name, and they're like, no. So I said, okay, I'll just keep on.
Like, no, I don't like that.
But yeah, and so it's going to be different for everyone. Sometimes names will be revealed, and then for others, you can ask if you can name them. All right, so what's another? Loved ones. So my grandmother, she is one of my spiritual guides. And let me tell you, this woman she is wise, feisty, and she's something else. She hasn't been fussing at me a lot, so that's a good thing. But yeah, loved ones can serve as your guides, and sometimes that's just for a period of time.
So that's an excellent point.
Yeah.
So I have not necessarily had any departed loved ones, which is strange. I will say though that when I went to my garden, the
Secret
garden,
garden.
place, guys.
It is actually. My garden is pretty amazing
it's
too.
a beautiful place. My mom, my biological mother was there, and we just needed to have a conversation, just like now that one made me start crying. And it was just, I had the opportunity to tell her that I forgave her, and I understood. I just didn't understand for so long, and I understood. And I wanted to let her know, like, it's okay, and I thank her for playing her part in the journey of my life, like, for real. And so being able to forgive her and let her go. And so I don't, sometimes I can feel her presence, and so every once in a blue moon I can, I have a ridiculously loud laugh, which I'm sure you guys have heard, and that's all her. Like, and I remember, I'm like, oh my goodness, that laugh. That's all from her. So I think that, they present themselves, when it's time. And so for her to come and kind of allow me that opportunity for sharing, and just to be like, I love you. Like, I love you. Like, for real. Especially after becoming a mother. That was beautiful. But I don't really have a lot of ancestral or just the way my life was set up, the way my bank account is set up. Right. So I don't have a lot of that, but I know there's a lot of people who are on a spiritual journey, and we know a couple of people who are very deep into ancestral work.
My daughter. She's working on that.
Into connecting with her ancestors, and sometimes we connect with our ancestors and we're helping them heal for stuff that they went through when they were here. Right. So, but they also provide guidance. So when people pass away from this, what do you call this? Dimension, this time, some knowledge that was not available to them, that is available to them now. So they're able to give you more guidance on your path. Have you ever, I know that you worked with your grandma, but
Yeah, so there was this really cool advice that she gave me. And I, like Mia said, sometimes I can be smart. But this was all her. So I was working with a pendulum. Let me make sure that I'm remembering the story correctly. Yes, so I was working with a pendulum, and it's a hematite pendulum, and I realized that it collects the energy. Like this particular pendulum, it collected a lot of energy, and so it constantly needed to be cleansed with selenite. And so whenever I wasn't using the pendulum, I would store it. And so my grandmother basically told me, well, just store it in a bag and put it with a little selenite cluster or a little selenite ball. That way it'll constantly be cleansed like every time you use it. And that's not something that I would think of. But she provided that guidance. And she provided some other guidance for me too, which I won't go into because I know that we're trying to be mindful of time.
But the guidance is dope.
Yeah, the guidance is dope. And I'm telling you, like, once you start to listen to this stuff, it's crazy. Like, there's no way that I would even think about this stuff. No way. All right, you want to talk about spirit animals?
Okay, so spirit animals. Well, I love all animals. I love the animals. I will say, I've always had an appreciation for nature, but I will say once I started connecting with my spirit animals, it's so different. Just the way that they can literally, just today, the way that animals respond to me is completely different. They just, I'm so glad Christy saw it, because if I say this to people, they're like, okay, crazy girl. No, but it literally happens. And so I think spirit animals, it's so beautiful because if you think about how animals communicate with each other, there's not necessarily this verbal language, it may be through their antennas or this, the light or whatever it is. So your spirit animals, if you think about it, they'll communicate through you that way. And I have a lot of winged spirit animals.
That's because she's always trying to fly up out of here.
Come on, man, let's finish this mission so I can go back home. But so these so they allow you to see sometimes what we can't see with our own eyes. So because animals, they have a different type of vision, and understanding what their talents are and how it is that they live will benefit you because they're trying to connect with you like, hey. And sometimes they've been there for forever in many different life forms. I know I definitely have quite a few, and I will share that one of mine is owls. I love owls. They're huge. They fly high, and you barely see them.
Yeah.
But they are definitely out there working the magic. And now that was one thing that came in a dream.
The owl.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, my spirit animal, which I honestly, because it's funny, because I always hear people talking about spiritual animal. Oh, my spirit animal is a cheetah, and oh, my spirit animal is a jaguar. Oh, my spirit animal is a bird, and I'm like, I don't have a spirit animal, which is fine, you guys. It's fine. If it's again, there is no right or wrong to any of this, but I will say that I was recently connected to my spirit animal through a dream day before yesterday, and it was a dragon. And oh my goodness, the dragon was so vibrant. The feathers on the dragon were vibrant. The eyes, and if you look up the meaning of these animals, you'll see that they represent different things. Like it can be strength, it can be power, it can be it can be various things. So each spirit animal has its own, I guess, lesson to teach you, and so that's guidance to give you, because again, these are teachers.
I want to talk about ascended masters.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right, so
we are at 58 minutes.
Okay, and we're going. Why do we talk so dang on much? So ascended masters, just because I just want to.
No, we need to talk about it. Yeah.
So ascended masters are those who have lived on this earth, have had a phenomenal life in some way, shape, or form, just in terms of they've chosen a life path, and instead of going back and just kind of like going away, they've decided they are dedicated to helping humans with their life journey. So an ascended master Jesus is an ascended master.
Yep.
So you know what I mean? His mama, Mother Mary, is an ascended master. Buddha Who else? What's another? There's a lot of different ascended masters who are available to you that you can tap into when you think about their life. It's like, okay, I need to embody some of that Christ consciousness. Let me reach out to someone, an ascended master who embodies that. So when you think about, like, and I think about Mother Mary, like, just in terms of just imagining, not knowing, hey, this is my journey, this is what I'm going to do regardless, and having to go through everything that she went through to get to her journey to be what she was supposed to be in that lifetime, and that power, and like then having to watch what you helped create to die and then come back, like, so think about the wisdom that she has,
right?
As a woman, and then now you're telling me that type of wisdom and what she's learned is accessible to me. Ascended masters are dope.
Yeah, they are. So my Oracle deck, it is a deck filled with ascended masters and angels. It's the I forgot, but it's a light deck because I only work with those filled with light and love. Light and love. But yeah, ascended masters are bomb. And like my favorite.
Who's your favorite?
So
I mean, I have a lot of them, but
yeah, I do have a lot. Kuan Yin.
I like Kuan Yin.
Kuan Yin is my favorite. But so yeah, one of the things that I would like to recommend as we are moving through this podcast is there is this book that was very helpful, and actually, Mia, I think you referred this book. Yeah, you referred this book to me. But the name of the book is The Complete Encyclopedia of Angels. And so this book gives you like the list of the archangels,
thank you,
ascended masters, I mean all sorts of beings that can assist you in your life, and you can call them in for various things. There are some that you can call in to help with fertility. There are some that you can help to get you to focus. There are some that you can help to have more patience. There are some that you can help to really embrace your divine femininity and your sexuality and wisdom. So there are so many things that you can call on from them to have them assist you.
That's a great way to, and it gives you a good, like, just introduction, tells you a little bit about their lives, and then there's someone that you connect to, and then I would suggest you just go deeper into,
like
into
Tara.
your journey and talk to her.
Yep.
But we can't leave without talking about the goddesses.
Yeah, like Isis.
Woo!
She's
Gaia.
powerful. Yeah.
What is it?
Is Tara?
Yep.
Freya's also in my deck too.
I'm trying to think of some of the other ones.
Kuan Yin
actually might be
Kuan
considered
Yin.
that. So they offer help in so many different ways. But if you familiarize yourself with a particular goddess that handles whatever facet that that you're dealing with, look for a particular goddess. So when you mentioned Kuan Yin, she's like the goddess of like mercy and compassion, which is absolutely her life story, by the way, is amazing. Her life story before she became Kuan Yin is amazing. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I just want to make sure that because it's such such a personal topic, but two, it's so vast. We just want to give you enough to take with you to do more research and work with resonates with you.
Yep.
What else you got? I'm trying to think.
We talked about everything. I think now it's time for temple work.
It is. Okay, so this morning, this is when we came up with this temple work. This morning, Chrissy has me going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I hate to admit it while she's sitting here. I swear to God, like, I just want to, like, dot her ears out for a second. I actually like it. I used to talk so much shit about her because she's like, oh, girl, I gotta go to bed because I gotta go to the gym in the morning. I'm like, oh my goodness. But it's a real thing. But So temple work, you know, we talk about our temple. All of this is our temple in our bodies. Mm-hmm. So in your journey, as you're learning to accept and love yourself, that means also accepting and loving every piece of you, including this body that we're in. And our bodies oftentimes are physical. Our outside bodies can be a physical manifestation of what's going on inside.
Facts.
So, what I want, no matter where you are in your journey, and even like, you know, looking at your body, accepting your body is important. So I know sometimes everybody can look at their body and be like, oh, I wish, you know, I didn't have this role or this whatever. But everybody has that. But I want you to think, when I said this earlier, that there is transformative power in love, and I can't tell you how transformative it is to love yourself. So your simple work is to take off your clothes, get butt naked, and stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself how beautiful you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Period, point blank. Look at your body and just accept all of it, because it is beautiful.
Yeah.
It no matter what, it's beautiful. It's yours. And the thing about it, guys, it's literally your body. You can create, mold, have it whatever way that you want it to be.
You
put
absolutely
tattoos
can.
on it. You know, whatever it is that works for you, but love it where it is.
Yep.
So that's one. And two, once their acceptance, and I would say this, I've always, you know, worked out and cared about my body, but me working out now is different because I'm not doing it necessarily for anybody else. Mm-hmm. It's honestly just because I feel a responsibility that I want my body to be in the best shape possible for the work that I'm doing for healing and for people. Like for like, if spirit lives in me, and I feel like I owe it, what they've done for me,
right,
baby, they deserve a good temple, and so and it just feels good. But at the end of the day, love wherever you are, because if you love it, they love it, and it feels good for them to be in there and get juicy with you.
Juicy. So I will say, and I've shared this with Mia too, is that So my obsession with going to the gym is just more than me wanting to look better naked, but
which is very nice to do.
Oh, of course. But
I get it though.
Yeah, but so with me working out, I just know that what I'm called to do, my body, my physical body needs to be strong. And so that's why when it comes to me going to the gym, I don't lay up, I don't play with it. I need to go to sleep. Once I'm done with this podcast, I'm going home and laying it down so I can go to sleep because I'm checking the clock. But I already know, like, what it is that they have called me to do in this lifetime. My body has to be strong. And so, yeah, that's the reason. And our bodies house our spirit. So that's the reason I like to go hard at the gym. All right.
Time for my crystal of the week.
It's time for today's feature crystal. All right. So I have it in my bra. This is another thing I got from Mimi. Carrying crystals in your bra.
Keep them close to your heart.
Yes.
That's good energy.
Great energy. So today's crystal is angelite. And angelite is the name given to a form of blue anhydrite, and it's typically found in Peru. These are, again, this information is for some of you science nerds. But it's a calcium sulfite mineral. It has an orthorhombic crystal system and a Mohs hardness of 3.5, which I was pretty surprised about. But angelite is a stone which can act as the physical representation or anchoring talisman for the energies of one's guardian angels, guides, and other friends in spirit. And this stone, actually, the stones themselves emanate serenity and benevolence, and these are the energies beings constantly broadcast through them that assist us. And so the spiritual properties of angelite is to help us communicate and commune with beings on a higher dimension. This is like the perfect crystal for this.
Yeah, totally.
On a higher dimension, which makes this stone helpful for those wanting to develop their spiritual gifts, such as a psychic attunement, channeling, mediumship, clairvoyance, and spiritual healing. This crystal angelite can also help one develop sensitivities for communication with humans who have passed over to the other side, as well as assist one in receiving spiritual guidance for one's self and others. Angelite is also great for the throat chakra because it's blue. So anytime you see a crystal or a stone with the color blue, you know that's going to be great for the throat chakra. I should say chakra because I've been corrected a couple times. I have a friend that's like, it's chakra.
Chakra?
Yep, chakra. But this crystal is also good for the third eye and the crown, and Angelite also helps with intuitive insights and receiving downloads from spirit. Also, Angelite can help one tune into memories of past lives and to the Akashic Records. We're going to talk about the Akashic Records at some point in time. I'd like to do that as an interview. But it's funny because I started working with Angelite. Once I decided I was going to use this crystal to discuss for today, I started meditating with it, and my guides, was it last night? I think it was last night, had me. So usually when I meditate, I carry it or hold it in my left hand. But as I was meditating, my guides had me put it on my third eye, and whew.
Oh, really? What, did you have a moment?
So I had a moment. Like, I definitely felt like, so it was like vibrating on my third eye, and I just felt things open up. And during my meditation, I started seeing stuff, seeing things. So I can definitely tell that it was opening up. And then my dreams, my spirit animal, the dragon, came back and, met me. So this rock, I'm going to continue to meditate with this until I pick out the next crystal. But this is actually the first time that I've worked with it. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Actually, the Angelite has a lot to do with part of my journey.
Does it?
Yes, I was in Greece, in Santorini, and I stopped at a crystal store.
She's fancy.
Oh. She trying to get at it. But we were at a crystal store, and this woman who owned the crystal store, beautiful soul, and so she had this. She actually that was my introduction to pendulums.
Oh.
She had a pendulum where she was, as we were talking to her, like, so she's like, oh, and so she's going around and telling you, like, and using the pendulum to choose which one, and Angela, and so she made this necklace for me with three beads that I can't find anymore, but crystals leave you when they're done with you.
Yeah.
But, and so she told me, and she said, it's time for you to start speaking your truth. And so this was right around the time I was going through it, y'all. Like, so, going through it. And so she made this necklace for me, the Angelite, and she said, and she told me to wear it for 7 days. She's like, just wear this. Do not take it off, because you need to open up your throat chakra. And the woman was so right that I wasn't speaking my truth. I was just trying to run and not address, and I wasn't able to speak. So I have very fond, that was a very pivotal moment for me, and that stone was very helpful for me, so I'm a big fan.
Yay, Angelite. Angelite.
Okay. So this is what I did. I decided to do pick an oracle card, so I did Oracle of the Angels, because
perfect.
We were talking about this, and so I just picked one. So if you heard the cracking, that was me shuffling. So look at this card and tell them what that card is.
Oh my gosh.
It's perfect, right? This is for you guys.
Okay, and this is another thing too. Okay. So the card says, I am beautiful, and it's a garden.
Yeah. Like, seriously. See how they work with us?
And honestly, like, it kind of reminds me of some of the space that we saw today when we went on the walk. This is so amazing. The water.
And we were just talking about loving and accepting yourself. So
yes.
The message for this is, you are a beautiful and true being. See the wonder of your soul. See just how beautiful you are. And we just talked about this. I told you, stand in the midst. See how my guys work. This, y'all are just seeing it live and in action. They just support. And so it said, you are important to the universe. The nature of your smile brings comfort. The steadfastness of your light brings hope to those around you. Stay true to yourself. I swear to God, they just said integrity for me to say to you. Stay true to yourself.
Again?
Yes, they did.
Oh, man.
Your simplicity and your radiance help others more than you know. Like, you are important and you're beautiful. If you are here, you have purpose, period. And it says, so something for you to say for you guys to yourself is, I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
And my light brings hope to those around me.
Yes.
And my smile makes the world brighter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. No, I don't care who you are. It's true. All of that is true. So that's our message for today. How are we doing on time?
We're at, actually, I think we're over an hour.
Again.
Yep. And I don't know. I mean, is it?
I know.
Y'all let us know. We're at an hour. We're at an hour and 14 minutes. I mean, y'all let us know. Is it okay for us? Is an hour too much? Is an hour and 20? Look, honestly, we're just being guided, and this is a free flowing discussion, which we don't edit. You already know we don't edit. But it's interesting how yesterday I had my little spirituals pop on my hand, and it continued a little bit today, so thank you. I appreciate that. I hear you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
So we let me see. I would say major takeaways for people that we want people to remember. You're not alone.
Not alone.
In your journey through life, and in your spiritual journey, just know that you are not left to your own devices. Let's see. Anything you could think of that we want people to remember?
And then, honestly, just ask if you are ready to connect with your guides. Just let them know I know you're there. Acknowledge them,
please.
I am ready.
They're waiting for you.
Yeah, I'm ready. And if you have any messages for me, please share. And I'm willing. Like I'm available.
And the last thing I would say is pay attention. You guys, just start paying attention. And some of this stuff, I'm sure, for some people, they're like, oh, that's what that means. Oh, okay. So just opening yourself to the awareness of what's happening around you and the messages that you are getting is going to change your life. Period, point blank. I said what I said.
Period, point blank.
So I don't know what we're going to talk about next week. You know what we should do? We should meditate on it.
Yeah, so we're not going to share what we're going to talk about just yet. We're gonna think about that, and we will get back to y'all. Actually, we'll post it on our Instagram page once we received our downloads.
Yes.
But as always, you guys, thank you. Oh my gosh, so much gratitude over on this side because
really? Seriously,
so much. I mean, I'm just amazed that we talk about all the time, like, people are actually listening to us.
Yeah, no, seriously. But so we got a message today that I want to just share on one of our DMs, and when somebody listened to episode 4, and the reason I'm sharing this is because when I say gratitude, I don't think you guys understand how much we both feel so grateful to just be able to share and help people, because it's so real and it's beautiful. So we talked about self-betrayal.
Yes.
And so we got this message. I'm obviously not going to name the person, but what she said was, because we posted something about self-betrayal on our IG page, and she said, this was definitely me with my ex-husband all day long. Episode 4 gave a twist to my perception. I knew the type of man I dealt with, but I realized my role, as you both stated, in trying to be everything this person expected you to be.
Right.
It was definitely self-betrayal, and I never looked at it like that. I knew I was never myself with him. Just grateful I'm myself today. Thanks, ladies. Y'all out here healing the entire land. I almost cried when I said it. I was just like, oh my God.
And I didn't see the message, but I know who that is.
It was that made me really. It just makes us feel good to know that we're helping. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And please let us know if there's something that you want us to, a topic, anything that you want us to talk about. If you have any questions, you can DM us or you can email us at info@twoqueensandcrystalthings.com.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
And also, just be sure to follow the podcast page on Instagram. And then, again, we will answer. If you guys have questions, we will answer because we're starting to get some questions, which is very fascinating. But we love it and we appreciate it. But stay tuned for next week's episode. We don't know just yet what it's going to be. But this Friday, we are airing episode 5 is going live. And that's the spiritual awakening, right? We have to.
So they would have heard the spiritual awakening by the time they hear this.
Okay, but spiritual awakening's going live. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yep.
My bad. So yes, so we will keep you all posted with what we plan to share for the next episode. But until next time, beautiful people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you can follow us for our podcast at Two Queens Crystal Things, and Christie at Christie. You have to look at. You don't know your.
No, I'm looking for you because she always like plugs my stuff, and then I'm also doing crystal healing sessions. You guys, I'm finally out of the crystal closet.
Yes, she should have been doing this, but yes, and and I've said this before, and I'm dead serious. This girl knows how to move some energy. Okay, she is a healer. Yes, she is.
I appreciate it.
And I am doing Akashic record readings. It's actually been fascinating.
And she is the bomb diggity. And you can find her at Wings Unleashed 444. And she also does coaching too.
I don't. I'm trying to empower the people, baby. I'm out here. Look, life is too short for us to not do what we came here for.
Right, and give back and help people. Right.
Seriously. So enjoying the day, and thank you, guys.
Light, peace, love. And so, you guys, be well, be blessed. Love you.
Bye-bye.